Will Alejandro Mayorkas ever see the inside of a prison cell go to the clink? Well, Miller thinks so. These guys think so. They're calling out that it's time to start looking at our voter rolls, looking at what the last administration did to our border. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel as we ask the same question every week. Will anything ever get done? I'm not just skeptical. I get that our legal system goes slow. Give this a watch.
Registered to vote, and it was by design. That's their belief.
It is absolutely by design. You've summarized it for your audience perfectly, Sean. This was not a loophole. The Biden administration, Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas, devised a scheme to fly illegal aliens into the country and then to escort them en masse across the border by the millions, and to give them something known as parole, which gives them a work permit, which gives them a social security number, which gives them access to the voting booth.
That's true in California, guys. This is not speculation. It's intentional. And so we showed videos of Alejandro Mayorkas straight-faced going, there's nothing going on at the border. It's secure. I don't know what you're talking about. The only thing that we don't have is proof of their intent. You can see the proof of what they did, and the idea that why they would accidentally bring in a bunch of felons and a bunch of illegals is unknown. But all you can do is look at the intent. Where is the selfish intent? Are they making money? Not necessarily. Are they really that altruistic? I mean, that charitable and the good-natured people to just want to give them jobs to pick our fruit? Or is there something more nefarious?
My response is Chuck Schumer's lying again when it comes to actual voting policy to protect the franchise for the American people. Number one, there's this thing called Real ID, which every state in the country now complies with, which actually protects women who go through the process of changing their name. So Chuck Schumer's lying and he's gaslighting. People need to remember that back in, I think it was 2022, you had Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, who were up in arms when Georgia changed their voting laws, rightly, mind you, and they followed the Florida model when it came to election law. And they went down to Georgia calling it Jim Crow 2.0, and they were lying because the facts were more black people in Georgia voted in the midterm elections than in the history of the state of Georgia. So once again, the Democrats are gaslighting. They are lying. They should be joining us to protect the franchise of voting in the United States of America. One thing I'll add is we've had more than 30 million people come into our country illegally. We've already seen through the work of Doge that they have had access to register into all kind of programs. So all we're saying is proof of citizenship to make sure you're voting in American elections. This is common sense stuff. Once again, the Democrats simply are not serious. They would prefer to gaslight than do what's right on behalf of the American people.
Like they intended to flip the vote for life toward blue, toward Democrats, and they had this jaded view thinking all illegal Hispanics, they all vote the same, man. We'll give them our welfare and they will come in and they will start voting for our people. Of course, they can't predict the future. It doesn't happen that way, but what I want to talk about is anybody going to jail.
This was the plan all along, to get them here illegally so they can get free government benefits, get hooked to welfare, and be able to participate in American elections. This was an attack on democracy by the Democrat Party. It's the same attack that we see, Sean, when you have California, a sanctuary state, that is refusing to turn over even illegal alien criminals and gang members to ICE. So these are illegal aliens in California who have been arrested by California police, by California law enforcement for serious crimes, for crimes against children, for felonies, for crimes that threaten public safety, and they are refusing to hand these criminal illegal aliens over to ICE. Instead, they're freeing them back into the cities to offend and offend again. By any definition, what California is doing is criminal. It is a violation of our laws. It is one of the most heinous things that I have seen in my entire life in Washington.
And they've been doing it in broad daylight. Where's Gavin Newsom on the topic of sanctuary cities in California? Why doesn't he come out and even verbally oppose it? Nothing. He's going to try to run for president, and we're going to call him out on that till the day he comes home. Now, here's more on the bad news for the Biden administration. This one involves the FBI. It is by Catherine Herridge, and this is amazing over on Twitter. Catherine Herridge, you guys know her. She's an incredible journalist, one of my favorite journalists. I think she's amazing. Trump, they dumped the dossier of all of the Russiagate, all of the conversations that went on between Adam Schiff, FBI, the Steele dossier. They dumped all that. It's 700 pages that went out on the internet. And the Federalist paper, all my buddies all work there, they dumped all the information out on the internet that the government released. 700 pages. Now, Catherine Herridge right here has brought up some major points, having gone through and read those pages. There, that's the backup for all this. Now you're all caught up. Here's Catherine Herridge. The Russiagate binder, joint review, nearly 700 pages with Michael Schellenberger. You guys see me do videos of him all the time. He's the guy that did the Twittergate release with Matt Taibbi. And Galaxy Brain. FBI interview Christopher Steele. This is Christopher Steele of the Steele dossier. He was the guy that was on the Morgan Pierce show that lady said he was a criminal. Christopher Steele calls President Trump, quote, the main opponent. That's Christopher Steele. This is going to involve the FBI in a second. 26-page FBI summary. Christopher Steele, 2017 interview provides more granularity about Steele's relationship with the Bureau being the Federal Bureau, that's the FBI, his personal dislike of President Trump, as well as eye-popping expense reports. According to the interview, Steele and his business partner, quote, apologized for going to the press in the fall of 2016. The 2016 media reports about the Steele dossier were cited in the FBI's and FISA applications for Trump campaign aide Carter Page. This is known as circular reporting. Further, Steele and his business partner described President Trump as their main opponent. Russiagate binder includes Steele expense reports, July 2016 payment request documents, and aggregate total paid $74,000. And then here's the actual documents with all that stuff. I'm not going to go into those just yet. But this, here's Elon Musk saying on this Twitter he goes, wow. Yeah, wow. So Steele dossier, that actually involves Hillary Clinton and possibly Barack Obama back in 2016 to launch this giant thing against Trump. It was actually paid for and conducted by Hillary Clinton, all that Parker's Coe, all those weird giant NGO paywall things that they have. Now let's go over here to the Doge designer, another guy on Twitter with a picture. There's another one where Elon Musk responded that I really like, but this is a picture of the blue map. See the United States? That's what the Democrats are trying to do with the vote, to turn America completely blue. And here's the quote. Democrats want to ban voter ID nationwide to turn America into a permanent one-party socialist state. This has to do with the passing of the SAVE Act. That's capital S-A-V-E. And I'll finish the rest of this quote just so it makes sense. The House has passed the SAVE Act. So we reported on this with Mike Johnson, who wrangled the votes and got this through, which SAVE Act requires voter ID, meaning you have to prove that you're a citizen to be able to vote, which requires proof of citizen to vote. Now it's up to the Senate, and this is my call to action for all of you. Contact your senator now and let them know that you support it. I hope we can get some traction on this one, because the Democrats will lose forever as soon as only citizens are allowed to vote. That's my conclusion. I'm Doug in exile. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment below. Let us know that you're there. That really helps push this video out. Do you think anyone is going to get thrown in the clink like Alejandro Mayorkas? Anybody?